I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
All right, a podcast about J-Lo. Say it again. Jennifer Lopez, Jenny from the block. So many different names we could call her. And AfterBuzz TV decided to do a podcast about J-Lo. We like to make the names really confusing for you and basically shake you up. Anyways, my name is Ronnie Jr. We will be hosting all together with Fallon Mercedes. Hello, Fallon Mercedes. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fallon Mercedes Brock, excuse me. Let me get it right.
I'm married.
She represents the married J-Lo side of things and the beauty for sure. Russell Ray Silva, how are you doing?
Hey, J-Lovers. What's going on?
That is what we say on Twitter. We're talking about her multifaceted career to start. This is our inaugural episode. So there's a lot of moving parts in the regards of putting the show together, but it's something that, and you guys could talk about this too, after all the AfterBuzz shows you've both done, there seemed to be a void with just kind of taking some moments to talk about J-Lo specifically in an after show form. You see, AfterBuzz TV is the originator when it comes to the after show format, but we do every TV show in the book. We've done World of Dance, we've done Shades of Blue, et cetera, but we've never just talked about the Queen. So today we are going to talk about the Queen. Can I ask the two of you, what do you think about her multifaceted career and why she continues to thrive in this industry?
Well, I think she really kind of broke the ground and really made waves for a Latina presence. I feel like the industry, we didn't see that. Even today, to name just one, but there are some others, but I feel like she was the first. And I feel like people just fell in love with her charisma. Even the roles that she was cast in, some of them were for American girls or, white women, but they saw her and, they loved her charisma, her personality, the way she acts. And I think, she was able to break in the industry where others could not. She, has done dancing, acting, singing, clothing line, perfume,
the Super Bowl, all of it.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl. I mean, she does everything. She's even, done Las Vegas. Like her career the last 20 years, she is unstoppable. And I feel like it's because we've never seen anybody do what she's doing. I think people have done parts of what she's done, but as like, even when she did Selena, I feel like, that's what really opened the lane for her to start singing and everything. It just opened a new door. Now she's producing her own movies,
Mm-hmm. Russell, what brought you into the J-Lo world? I know you and I will chat about all these great females in the industry, and there's so many great ones, but what makes J-Lo different to you?
You know what? J-Lo exemplifies, I think, what Latinos can relate to, for the fact that she broke so many barriers, but our families always instilled this work ethic in us, and they always want us to succeed, but they don't necessarily know how to support us. So sometimes they shy away from it and they almost ask you not to do those things. And when it comes to Jennifer Lopez, she really set that example for Latinos of your family might not believe that you can achieve things, but they want you to achieve things and don't necessarily know how to support you. So she just went out and did it and got it done and showed her family that it was possible. It's okay to let your kids follow their dreams, because I think in the Latino community, our families are very much worried about us failing and then having nothing, because as a culture, I believe we work so hard to achieve the things that we have, and we're very proud of it. And we were also trained to just spend, right? You make, you spend. That's why we have big quinceañeras and we have all these big parties. And she really broke all the barriers of what was a Latino role was supposed to be in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. So she not only preached to the American side, who like the Latinx community who doesn't speak Spanish fluently, like myself, she gave a voice for, right? She gave a voice for those people. And then she also spoke to the actual home-based Latino side who speaks Spanish, from proper Spanish to Italian to Spanish from Mexico, because she was able to cross over just so gracefully. And I think that's really hard to be done, because a lot of the Latinos who approach that have, you know, either tragically lost their lives, or for whatever reason their career didn't manage to make it on that half. But she's made it on both sides, which I think is amazing. And she's still going. She's producing. I mean, for roles in Hollywood only being, I think it's between 8% of being cast for Latinos. Like, she has made it beyond belief, worth over $500 million in your span. Come on.
Can she take us to lunch? That would be nice. So basically, before I give you guys my opinions on what really brought me to this J-Lo fascination, I will say this AfterBuzz platform will be something we do every Tuesday. And it's basically, if you are a J-Lo fan, if you're any of the things that Fallon said or Russell said, like, this is basically where it's going to be like a hodgepodge, hour-long conversation to talk about the queen. And we'll have fun segments, et cetera, et cetera. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I do want to kind of add to what you two are saying. For me, it really has to do with a couple things. Like, it's longevity. But I think in any entertainer's life, once you have a 20-year career, you know, you got to give that person respect no matter who it is. But for me, I think it has to do with, I love the way Fallon said, you know, she represents this to like a whole community. She does, but she also looks to the Rita Morenos of the world as like they did something for her. Celia Cruz did something for her. And she's kind of just, you know, that she's taking all of those bits and pieces of cultural influence and performance, and she's doing it her own way. The thing that really gets me, though, is it just feels like I was always destined to do this podcast with you two, because I could literally, especially when we started talking together about how we're going to just chat about her for, you know, about 40 minutes every week, I could remember like it was yesterday when the first record came out, obviously after Selena. And I could remember when that Head and Shoulders commercial came out. Like, all of this stuff, there's times where I say, I am the biggest J-Lo fan, right? And then and then you start to almost wonder, J-lovers are really serious. And then I just say, as you and I were talking, all three of us, it was like all of a sudden I could remember the job that I was working. I could remember how impactful the music
so nostalgic.
Yes.
I could remember it like it was yesterday. And these aren't things that come up in my head every single day, but because we were going to talk about this, I was like, I remember what job I was working. I remember because there was a couple of coworkers who were like, oh my God, that Jennifer Lopez girl, she really thinks she's going to do something. And at that moment, she had just sort of done Selena. Of course, she had done South Central already. Of course, she's done Mi Familia already. Of course, she did the Fly Girls already.
She was in P. Diddy and Mace's music video.
Well, of course.
You know, and it was such a small role.
Yeah, I mean, so she had stuff. But what was just interesting, because like Fallon says, Selena was that break off point. But the thing is, like, to do that role and to like shift into something else. Like, how many other girls do we know? It's not a knock, but they'll get their little shine, and then they'll do their little Head and Shoulder commercial, and then they'll get a couple ads or whatever. But then when they go to do their first song, they're getting just as critiqued as she did. But I remember that first music video, and I just, if you guys could indulge me here, that first music video was so amazing because a couple things. She was dating at the time Adam Rodriguez from CSI Miami fame. Okay. Hold on, let me check my J-Lo notes here. Okay, cool. She was dating him. He was in the video. So if you go back and watch Love Don't Cost, If You Had My Love.
If You Had My Love, yeah.
If You Had My Love.
He's the pervy guy in the video. So that's already exciting. And what I thought she did so masterfully, and I'll stop talking and let you guys kind of have an opinion as well. What she did so masterfully is, even at that early stage of her career, people were always talking bad about her. They were always like, you're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, yes, you did Selena and you accomplished that, but you're not going to be able to do your own music. What did she do on that first video? I know you all know. The first video she did, not only did she give you an internet sensation when internet was brand new, but secondly, she also gave you, I think there was like some hip hop dance. It was like supposed to be like this like internet portal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she laid it on so tough. She was like, you got something to say? Come say it about all of my assemblage of talent. And to me, that was like such an early stage where I said, I really like this girl. I feel like I predicted, I mean, not to be, you know, I do feel like I, at that point, said she's got a bit of chutzpah that's just so different.
You know what?
Yeah.
A big part of artists today was the fact that they've done music video cuts like she has. where technically just the song stopped and it's a whole cutaway to a different scenario. Beyonce and Lady Gaga used it in Telephone. Their cutaway and they had their moment.
Right.
J-Lo started this back in early 2000 when she was at the beginning of her career. She was way ahead of her time. People are still incorporating those things now like it's a brand new thing.
It's so funny because as I was getting ready for this podcast and I was doing my hair and putting my makeup on and trying to channel my inner J-Lo, I went back and I was listening to her old albums and like, even today it resonates.
Oh, resonates and stops the movement. But hey,
I think when she was going with it, where it resonates today, it's still relevant. And especially going back to If You Had My Love, do you remember the big Darth Vader flat screen TVs?
Yes.
So my dad had to have this TV because the Rams had gone to the Super Bowl. And I remember we had it and it took up a whole wall in my living room. And that music video came on and I wanted to be the hip hop dancer that was somewhere behind her, but no one really knew about him. And I mean, man, her moves, it's just graceful. And to think she came up as a dancer, because a lot of us have these dreams. We're hosts. We want to be, you know, the big time, New Year's Eve in Times Square. Maybe even produce our own TV shows, maybe produce our own talk shows. You know, there's a lot of things that we all want to work on, but the fact that she had the courage and the work ethic to just do it and propel through the hard times of, you know, she had to go against these Americanized pop stars that were excelling in the industry, including Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, Mandy Moore.
Well, what she had also, and going off your point, is she had a time that it happened was sort of like the Latin explosion. So even within that, yes, it was a great outlet for her. But even at that point, I think people did assume, you know, it might be ending at some point. So that for me is just, it's all about her resiliency. And as we do this show, a podcast about J-Lo, we're going to go in all different facets. I just felt like it was really important for us to kind of give the entry point to why we really find her amazing. I mean, I've done everything from read her book to I've seen her rock doc dance again. And it's just always keeps me motivated for my own aspirations, kind of tells me I could do what I want. So I think that's kind of a really cool thing. We lost our girl Fallon.
You know, she just updated me. She's as we all know, all of us who have diva moments are having a moment right now. Her internet is having a moment. So don't worry, she's working on it. She's gonna get back with us.
I think she's going to go watch a music video and she's going to do the full dance routine. That's what
she
I
went
think
to go practice the choreography.
Which is totally welcome. A big shout out to everyone that's checking us out on the iTunes and Spotify, of course, but the YouTube is very interactive as well. So drop your comments. If there is a topic, and you'll be seeing this from week to week, if there's a topic that you want us to break down, we will do that. Because basically every week we'll have a little different vibe to it. One will be J-Lo fashion, one will be J-Lo music, one will be J-Lo lovers, because there's been a handful and we love it, you know?
Oh, exactly.
So that's really basically, as we're chatting with AfterBuzz, and they're in the creative process as well, Keven and Maria and Steven and Bree and everybody, Jeff and Ryan, they love this concept of an AfterBuzz show dedicated to J-Lo. We'll do a little bit of news, Russ. Before you do that, I just wanted to make one little moment that online yesterday, it was basically no Met Gala, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's like kind of referencing back their shut it down moments. And, you know, like Rihanna has had a shut it down moment, of course, everyone has. But I really think J-Lo's, when they did the religious theme, I really think that was, to me, one of my favorite shut it down moments. Do we have our sweet?
We're connecting audio. Okay.
Did you go dancing?
I did.
So you got the choreography down.
Yeah, I got it down.
All right, you're going to be in charge of our first TikTok. How about that?
Okay. So I got waiting for tonight. What I was trying to say earlier is, as I was getting ready for this podcast, I was just going through all her old records, and it really was so nostalgic. It really brought me back in time, like literally waiting for tonight. I'll never forget. And I think I shared this with you, Ronnie. When I was in high school, I don't know if you guys remember the movie, the show on MTV called Made, and they would pick regular people to redo their favorite artist's video. And I was already in love with TV and journalism. So in high school, I took a communication and production class, and we had access to like high-tech videos and, you know, editing equipment. So I literally had my whole class tape me reenacting J-Lo's Waiting for Tonight and Love Don't Cost a Thing. I bridged the two together, and it just, listening to her music now really takes me back. And I didn't end up getting picked because I think they picked twins. Do you remember the twins that played in May?
You had just talked to me about it, so I do recall that specific episode. But I really do think you could have been perfect. I mean, you have experiences being an East Coast girl, you know, going to visit family in New York. It like, you really could have been the girl, but you know. But
can we talk about your moment for a minute? Your hair, the way that it's falling, and the one shoulder piece right now, the whole J-Lo moment you're having right now, okay?
And you know what? She says that she feels her sexiest when she wears her hair curly. So I had to.
Yes.
Curly and put the one shoulder. Do you remember she used to rock these?
Yes. And the hoops. You got the hoops
and
on.
The hoops, yes. And the neutral lip, yes.
Yeah, you're giving us a full filling for sure. Real quick, Fallon, just before, as you were here, we were briefly going to talk about a little bit of fashion, because everyone's kind of, you know, going back and remembering the Met Gala, and everybody's having like their, you know, Naomi posted a picture of her moment. What did you think about that, J-Lo, when it was the religious theme? To me, that was, I mean, there's 100,000 different iconic J-Lo shut down the internet fashion moments. But what did you think about that? Was that Versace, or was that, which one was that? It was the religious one.
I believe it is Versace. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. But referring to that one, what do you just think about like her iconic fashion looks, Fallon? Because she's the type to me that actually could throw the hair up, wear some jeans and a big boot, and still be very cute, very sexy.
Yes.
But there is a difference when J-Lo steps out there and wants to make an impression.
I mean, that particular outfit, she killed it. But my favorite was, like you were just saying, she can hide her hair, put it in a bun. But when she wore the Met Gala outfit with the crystals coming down on her head.
With A-Rod, yes.
Killed it. Like,
yeah.
A-Rod, like, must be in heaven. Like, he just, she does no wrong when it comes to fashion. And she always brings, like, I love what she does. She brings that glamour, but she has a little bit of street in her too. Like, she could switch it up. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen her post like workout photos. The chick will wear earrings, hoop earrings with her workout gear. That's how New York she is. Like, so I love that she really brings herself into fashion.
Yeah,
she doesn't like.
She looks like the way the girls on VH1 want to look, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes, exactly.
You really went there. You came for everybody on Love and Hip Hop.
I only said a network. I said no such thing as a TV show.
I know that's how half the girls on Love and Hip Hop were trying to look. The only one who made it out was Cardi B. And look at her and J-Lo are good friends.
Yeah. Russell, did you have any moments on fashion before we go in? And really,
you know what? That was a Bellarmine dress.
Okay. Yes, I knew it was that. I knew that one wasn't Versace. I felt like that was not connecting to my mind.
And speaking of Versace, can we just touch a little bit about that Versace dress?
Well, I will say, I'm assuming Russell will talk about a little bit about like the breaking the internet part in 1 second. But for me, it really was the bounce back, the clap back, if you will. Like the fact that she had that moment all those years later, and then she came back sort of unexpected. Like, you know, she does a lot of the YouTube content herself, so you'll see all her behind the scenes. And is that J-Lo? Hello. The spirit is here. She likes us. J-Lo will be our guest next week, everybody. To me, to have, again, what does it for her, for my fascination, is she has like the audacity, even the nerve to be like, oh, what? I can't do it all these years later when I'm 50. Oh, wait, you want me to do it better than I did when I was 29? Like, that is just so wild to me. And I think when I look at my own self and my own career and my own setbacks, I'm often timid, you know, and I think we all get that way. And so for me, it's just really exciting. That has to be one of my favorite moments of hers.
And what I loved that she wore that dress again. She wore it so beautifully, so confidently. And I've watched a bunch of her YouTube videos, and she was saying, like you said, she wore it better than she did before, because now being 50, she works so much harder on her body to keep her physique, to stay strong. She is literally like #goals. Like, I want to grow older and get stronger, get fitter, just like she has. Like, she has no shame. Like, what 50-year-old out there can go on a red carpet, a runway, you know, wearing that type of dress, or even be on stage in front of millions watching at the Super Bowl on a pole, half naked? Like, killed it.
She did it naturally. There's a lot of these reality TV people who are injecting this and doing that and walking these New York Fashion Week runways because they have connections, but they're in reality a lot younger than she is, and she's able to do it no problem.
Well, time out. When I get reality, or when I get the good money, I'm nipping and tucking everything. So
that's fair.
I'm not going to talk too negatively about them ladies. No.
It's fair, but she's worked hard for what she has, and she's worked hard to very well maintain it.
Yeah. And I've watched interviews of her talking about her own body confidence. And I love that she has put herself in the entertainment industry and has not tried to mold herself into something that she's not. She says frequently that she is not a size 0. She is not 5'11". You know, she's not a tall model, and she's not skinny. She fluctuates. Sometimes she's a 6 in pants. Sometimes she's an 8. If she's really on her game, she's a 4. And I just love that. And I think that confidence is what made the wave for big booties, you know, because she naturally had a booty. Being Latina, she loved her curves so much that it embraced the whole movement of other women loving their curves, to the point where people weren't even loving themselves if they didn't have a booty, and they're out being Kim Kardashian injecting booties.
Oh,
we're really coming for the nip tuck situation, but yes.
I mean,
and the reality.
Let's be real. Yeah, we know what it is. We know what time it is.
You know what? There wouldn't be the Kardashians without Jennifer Lopez. And Kim Kardashian said from season 1, J-Lo was her inspiration. Now, with that being said, I believe J-Lo has, although her bank account might not reflect it, and she does have a big bank account, she's made just as much money for other people as Jeff Bezos has, because there would be no online influencers and all that money that's coming in. YouTube, we wouldn't be here on YouTube right now if it wasn't for the Versace dress. She's the whole reason Google Images came up, the whole reason that Tom invented MySpace, and going into Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook.
And that
all because of her.
That Google comment is not just Russell Ray being like, you know, into J-Lo. Like, that's literally somewhat of a proven situation. Yeah. Based on that dress caused the search engine aspect. I don't know if I'm wording it correctly, but that's a real.
The image search engine.
Yeah. It was definitely a moment. And then she was with Diddy at the time. So here's the thing about this podcast, and I feel very weird on episode 1 because we're going to be kind of tight with time. But I'm just touching on a couple different things. Throughout the course of the show, Fallon will have a news report every week. Russell Ray is going to hit us with a little bit of things that are going on. We're going to call these segments all J-Lo all the time, and it's going to be basically our 20-minute breakdown every single episode. And Russell, we'll do that in 1 minute with you, and we won't do 20 minutes, but I just want you to hit us with a couple little topics.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, just for people who want to comment and engage, every week from this point on, we'll have a guest that's either in or around the J-Lo world, be it they could have worked with her, they could have been a super fan of hers, they could have even been like a TikTok superstar in the J-Lo universe. If anyone is like rocking with her, we're going to have that type of person on our show each and every week. So we'll probably get some really cool firsthand accounts and stuff like that. I will tease briefly some of the topics that are going to intrigue me. Maybe it's just the funny and salacious side, I guess. But I want to talk about the J-Lo effect on how she can make a man look better than he is. Like the way she did, what's his name? Ben Affleck. Like she upgraded him. And I will say this: I was always with the Mark Anthony thing. I know not everyone was, but it's like when J-Lo presents that arm candy as Mark Anthony, his stock kind of goes up. That's no knock on Mark, because Mark, of course,
No, look, Mark Anthony has a
resume.
certain swag to him if you see him in person. Now, in pictures, you're questioning like, what did she see in this man? But when you see his presence and his presence as a person, it really matched what J-Lo was. He has a big presence just like she does. She has a huge presence, just as in her the vibe she gives out, the confidence she projects. He's very much the same way, and that's why that duo worked for so long.
And of course, we are not critiquing him, because I mean, his resume, Diana Torres, like the new, I mean, his resume, J-Lo may be the lowest on his resume. So Mark is really, he's really that guy. I mean, you know.
But I mean, he found one that looks kind of like her on his, but we won't go, we won't go into that.
But I'm just kind of giving a foreshadowing.
Where's my teacup? You guys are spilling some tea here.
Oh, I'm very nice. I am nice and authentic and a really good human being.
I think one thing that we didn't talk about is that each episode we want to name after a certain like song or genre or impact that she had. So like Let's Get Loud is the name of this episode. And we're kind of just talking about the loud effect that she's had in the industry in so many different genres, from music to fashion to movies. So like we'll break down maybe Waiting for Tonight and what do you do at night? You kind of roam the streets. Maybe we could talk about some people that maybe didn't really hit the news as arm candy, but have been rumored to be with her. I mean, do you guys know for sure that she dated Drake or not?
Okay, look, so Drake's confessional in his song, I would say was the proof in that.
Okay, but we'll definitely dive into that and so much more.
And I applaud it, not because of Drake, but I applaud like women and their men too, and their empowerment of just, you know, one thing about J-Lo, and I keep referring to the was it on HBO at the time, but the Dance Again documentary was one of her tours.
Yes.
I keep referring to that because I've watched it probably 35 times, but I keep referring to that because she does talk about how the post Mark Anthony moment, but it was a different sort of love breakup because she felt really like, I don't want to use the word failure, but hurt. And what gets me is we give her so much credit for her resilience in her career, because that's like a little bit more tangible to like understand. Mm-hmm. But to really feel those Dance Again moments, I love that she named that rock doc Dance Again, because that was this whole thing where, and again, I only critique it to myself, where I'm like, Ronnie, you're being lame, you're getting in the way of your own self for multiple reasons. And Dance Again is just something we should always have an internal dialogue with.
Yes, love it. Oh, I'm so excited. I know our podcast is only limited to a certain amount of time. So like, I'm so excited that we are finally doing it and that we have many, many more episodes to break down the queen herself.
Real quick, Russell, did you have a quick Reese Witherspoon update?
I do have a Reese Witherspoon update, and I also have a tad bit of news that I'm going to dig on and see what I can find out about it for next week. So, J-Lo has a new show on Quibi.
Yes.
And it's called Thanks a Million. Pretty much what they do is they give someone $100,000. The catch is that $100,000 to whomever it's given to, which by a celebrity, either they touch the celebrity in, you know, a certain way, whether it's the way that they treated them, and they just don't have a presence in their everyday life, but they just came across them at one point, so they choose these people. That person that receives the $100,000 has to split that in half and give it to somebody else, and then that person has a trickle effect, which they continue to split it and down to the point where you just can't split it anymore. And they've given a total of $100 million away. I'm sorry, not $100 million. $1 million away. It's $100,000.
I haven't seen my stimulus check. What's going on? Come on, Jenny from the Bronx. Let's go.
Reese Witherspoon recently interviewed her and said that what really touched her and inspired her is that there was a moment in the first episode where they said gratitude has an echo effect. And it said it hit her so hard it almost made her cry, which goes back to the thing is J-Lo has allotted people to really fill their bank accounts off of these opportunities because of her Versace dress all the beginning. She might not realize it, but her being her gave us the opportunity to be grateful for her and have the trickle effect of being able to provide for ourselves and our families.
Can I go off
that? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I wanted to just go off that real quick, that to what you're saying. I like this stage of her career because you can't be dishonest to even yourself to say that when she was younger, she had to sort of step to these type of acting roles to not be typecast. She had to do this sort of music to gain popularity. She had to go with Mark Anthony to do, music in Spanish. There was a little bit more willing and dealing, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just there is a certain moment you have to create in being someone like J-Lo. And so to me, it's really an exciting time for her, because when I look at her in her relationship, when I look at her in her projects that she does choose to do, it seems like she's at a point where she's doing all the right things that fit for her.
Yeah.
So that's just about I had. Wrapping up, or was that it on that note?
Well, that and the fact that she's at the point right now where she's achieved so much that she can now just take those few moments that she has, because she has the pull to take those moments to give back and allow those other people to create their things. Now, with the tease for next week, J-Lo and Matthew McConaughey sparked rumors that they could be potentially shooting a sequel to, why did I just lose this?
It's hard to remember stuff.
Not Made in Manhattan, but
Wedding
Planner.
Yeah, Wedding Planner. I was going to say Made in Manhattan, but that's not it.
No. So the Wedding Planner. So they sparked rumors that they are potentially going to be shooting Made in Manhattan 2. They had a play on Twitter, which kind of intrigued fans, and all these rumors are starting. So I'm going to reach out to some movie friends and producer friends that I have to see what's going on behind the scenes, see if I can find out if this is actually going to happen, because we would love to see this. And we all know, as a J-Lo community, that was a highlight movie for all of us.
I like the way you said that. It's the J-Lo community, and I think we'll even touch on, like, her, in future episodes, Oscar snub, what that does, and how we know she's not a quitter. She's an athlete. She did track when she was in high school. Like, she goes hard, and that she wants to get that next classic role. I don't know what it's going to be. Fallon, last thoughts? Fallon Mercedes Brock, our married beauty.
No, I'm just excited. For us to break down her whole career. I feel like you said in the beginning of this podcast, that, we've touched on certain things, there you go.
Are you doing your music video again?
I am. We've touched on certain aspects of her career, World of Dance and different shows, but to break her down as a whole, and even as a person, I am so excited to dive into.
I agree. I got my True Love book right here, which has already been in my mind, but why not bring it out again? Rewatch, reread. Russell, last thoughts, and what do you want to see with the podcast as far as building this community?
I want to see anybody and everyone who has been inspired, been able to excel their career further than they previously thought that they might have been able to, especially those in the Latino community. I want to hear from them, because they represent me. And it wasn't until J-Lo came around to where I seen someone like someone in my family, who I would see in my family, that was part of the entertainment industry the way that I wanted them to be. So we're going to hopefully dig in more on that.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot of different topics along the way. This was episode 1. A guest will be included every episode from this point. And again, if you want to contribute to what these topics will be, definitely let us know, and we'll kind of go in that route as well. I know for me, I definitely need to tell you two about my going to see her at MSG for her 50th birthday, and how the lights went out in the facility and everyone had to leave MSG. We thought Cardi B was going to come out in the dark. It was a wild scene. I want to tell you guys about that and just everything. So it's a place to chat about J-Lo, and we'll even be critical. We're not going to just take it easy on her. She's the queen, but we're shady bunch. It is what it is. Where Fallon, can we follow you on your platforms and anything that you got going on?
Yeah, you can find me online at fitwithfallon.com and at fitwithfallon on Instagram, Fallon Mercedes Brock on Facebook. Definitely reach out to me. I'm in the health and fitness industry.
So am I. Look at this beautiful body.
Hey, and if you guys don't know, Ronnie had lost tons of weight on his own.
And now I found it.
No, he didn't. Anyways, but yeah, if you need health and fitness help, I'm here for you. We got to take one episode to dive into J-Lo's health and fitness routine, what she does, what she's eating. We'll definitely do that for you. But yeah, check me out, fitwithfallon.com.
And Russell, what do you got going on?
You guys can find me all over the internet, Russell Ray Silva, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, my website. I have tons of things going on. What don't I have going on? I'm trying to trickle off of J-Lo and what she does, right?
Yeah.
But follow up with me, hit me up with your questions. I'll be more than happy to dig and find out the answers for anybody who's looking for answers about J-Lo. I'm your guy.
And you can find me on my back with my legs in the air trying to get Mark Anthony. I'm joking. That is a joke that our engineer Ryan could not wait to hear. Anyways, you can
Mark Anthony. Why him?
Because he's got a. We'll talk about that next time.
Not A-Rod?
All of them. I want them all. It's not one, but two. To follow all my stuff, I just released a new YouTube channel. It's an interview series, randomlyronniejr.com. In fact, one of the people that I just interviewed was Valerie Ortiz, who played J-Lo in Date Movie, if you could remember that far back, which, by the way, Valerie Ortiz is also a huge fan of J-Lo, and her and I talked about J-Lo for like 25 minutes. So you could imagine we'll have Valerie Ortiz come on the show as well. So go to randomlyronniejr.com for my new YouTube channel. It's really fun. And I just wanted to do a special thanks to Kevin, Maria, Steven, Bree, Jeff, Ryan, and anyone else who helped out with the AfterBuzz show here. All right, this has been a podcast about J-Lo, Ronnie Jr., Russell Ray Silva, and Fallon, Mercedes, the married Brock. All right, I guess we're done.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.